think it's time for Jack to let her rip.
Hey, it's your boy JK. Today's Monday, and you know what they say, man. When it's Monday, it's time for a new top 10 countdown for MK. Alright, so today we'll be counting on the top 10 best MK games in the entire series. Let's go. Number 10, Armageddon. Back in the day, for all you MK vets, don't quote me on this, but I'm dead sure that leading up to Armageddon's release, they marketed shit like, this is the last game, no other games after this. Or then they go on to say stuff like, if they do make another game, don't expect any of the classic characters, it'll be exclusively new characters. So after hearing stuff like that, your boy got Armageddon day 1. And of all the MK games I've ever played, this is the most disappointing one. Look, the character models were crap, the endings were terrible, and the conquest mode was a half-assed Shaolin Monks. It was a rushed game in my opinion, and it left much to be desired. Number 9, MK vs DC. Game had me hype as fuck, I'll be real. With Street Fighter 4 and MKDC circling the web, it was a good time to be a fighting game fan. And no matter the uproar about fatalities being watered down and all that nonsense, we were all curious to see how the game would play out. It's not a bad game, but it's not great either. But admittedly, it was how I envisioned a next-gen MK game looking and playing like. From the stage transitions, the character animations, the details of characters looking beat up as the fight progressed, it was all amazing. 8. Sub-Zero Mythologies. I love this game because it's challenging. The scenery was cool and all the boss battles were interesting in their own way. It was a great beat-em-up game for its time, in animation and everything. And yes, don't let the god-awful cutscenes make you think it's a bad game. It's not, trust me on that one. 7. Deception. Can someone say conquest mode? I remember when I first picked up the game and read the back cover of the package and saw some shit about them talking about how I go on this awesome epic adventure and get to watch this new character grow and mature. Look, I bought the game before I went to school the morning and waited all day to just Superman home and play it. The intro cutscene came on and the rest is history. I loved exploring the realms, man. Looking back on it now, the game looks like ass, but at the time of release, my friends, you would all have loved it. 6 and 5, coming in number 6 and 5 I mean, MK1 and 2. Not much changes in between both titles. I'm thinking MK2 introduced stage fatalities, but my memory's failing me right now. What makes both games classics and the final what makes them classics are the final boss fights of both games. Going in without knowledge of Shang Tsung or Shao Kahn is a suicide mission. I guess most of you in this present time of gaming could handle it without knowing what these characters can do. Gamers are pretty good these days, but yeah, easily the best two battles in fighting game history. No debate about that, and that's what makes them classics. 4. Deadly Alliance. 2002, boys? LOL. I didn't get this game until months after release. My brother used to come home and spread legendary stories about how much MK has changed, how awesome the graphics are now, how the PS2 is awesome as fuck. We didn't have a PS2 as yet too. And a lot of awesome stuff he was telling me about the game. He used to go over to his friend and play, so with MK4 being my first game, and that was the only MK game I was playing for 4 years straight, my hype was through the roof. And when I finally got to play it, I saw what my bro was talking about. It was a weird transition though. The fighting got mad slower, the 3D, walking around the screen stuff. It was all weird. I'll be honest about that, but I didn't mind. I mean, why would I? It looked amazing. Coming in number 3 is Shaolin Monks. Man, I swear to God, I took forever to beat this game. I was a kid and some of the puzzles took a while for me to figure out, man. We didn't have all these YouTube fucks and news titles to baby step us to glory back then in video games. We had to figure shit out on our own. Completion of a game was earned, and man, it was the man's way to do it, man. It was the man's way to do it. And that's why, that's why I kind of hesitate to reveal spoilery things on my channel about any game that's coming out. Because I don't get why people want to be spoiled so badly these days. I don't get it. the game itself gets a longer life if you don't spoil yourself. But I guess society has changed, man. But God knows how bad I want the Shaolin Monks follow-up, man. I promise you, if NetherRealm doesn't make it happen, if we don't get a Shaolin Monks 2 or a game using its mechanics, I'm going to personally make a game with Shaolin Monks mechanics. Because quite frankly, Shaolin Monks fighting game system is one of the best fighting systems I've ever seen. They're sitting on a gold mine and it's like they don't recognize it. Number 2, MK3. Talk about a series taking leaps, brutalities, friendships. Damn, that game was lit. The stage and arenas got more life too, like the Living Forest, the Sky Tower with the Dragon Priest and stuff. It was a very beautiful game. And coming in number 1, ladies and gentlemen, is MK4! The game that got me into the series. Nintendo 64 MK4, man, was beautiful. Look, you really felt the impact of attacks in that game. Pulling off a bicycle kick used to make the whole room go oh and cringe up because of how painful it looked. The sounds and everything was awesome. It added to the atmosphere. No one was bitching about zoning, no mix-ups to confuse your brain about highs and lows, no wake-ups, nonsense and armored attacks. I actually wish MK could just go back to this level of simplicity. The skill ceiling in MK9 and X is too high in my opinion, and it turns a lot of people who are interested in the series off once they try it and they never look back. It's like the game is just too hard, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying making a newbie friendly game for MK going forward, but god damn it, let's admit there's so many things you gotta look out for from the majority of players. Look, it's a very confusing game, and you know, I just miss the simplicity, you know what I mean, man? I miss just running in without fear of, you know, a wake-up attack. You just run in, you rub the controller, and you just have fun. It's like when you go online these days, like people are just so caught up with stats, they don't want to have fun. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen, the top 10 best MK games in the series. I know some of you will disagree. It's my opinion, you gotta remember that. So just tell me how you would personally arrange the list in the comments below and just leave it at that. As always, expect a new top 10 countdown coming out tomorrow, and I'm thinking about expanding these top 10 series to cover a lot of other games, you know, that I'm a fan of, you know, because I think expanding these top 10 series to gaming in general is the next best step for this channel to take. As always, this has been your boy JK. Peace out, and of course, enjoy your day. Yeah, man.